niche, 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 niche? Wait, that last one's something else. Whatever you want to call it, your niche is the slice of your market that you specialize in serving. And like any good marketer or pizza party attendee, you know that finding the right slice is key. Today on Marketing is Broken, we're talking all things niching, from how to identify and narrow down a promising market to what channels work best for developing niche audiences into customers. Joining me is David Tao, the founder of strength training and nutrition website Barbend. For a long time, marketers and wheel nuns adopted the spray and pray approach. This meant you bought as much media as possible, cast a wide net, and worked with whatever you dragged in. But these days, media buying is so expensive, competitive, and data-driven that not only can we not afford to smother everyone with our presence like the Kardashians, we no longer have to. Every good marketer worth our $9 ethically sourced Himalayan pink salt knows that nowadays, the riches are in the niches. That's what it says on our conference t-shirts anyway. But which niche is the right niche for your sitch? Is there any way to know if you've truly hit a golden vein of get niche quick, or you're headed for a glitch in the marketing matrix? And how do you pitch your niche without a hitch?
Oh, brother.
Today on Marketing is Broken, we welcome David Tao to talk all things niche. David is a former journalist and the founder of Barbend, a strength training and nutrition website. He's figured out how to stand out in the workout space, which is one of the most crowded markets of all. And now he's going to tell us how to follow in his besneakered footsteps. What are the characteristics of a great niche or target group within a market, and how do you find them?
Well, I think the biggest characteristic is passion, because if it's a niche audience, if it's a smaller consumer group, reader base, you want people who are really, really passionate about something. They do it as a hobby, maybe even a profession. They're spending money in the space. They're making purchases. They want to consume a lot of content, because if your audience is small and there aren't a ton of them, then they have to be really engaged, and you need the potential for, whether it's repeat buyers if you're selling something, repeat readers if you're in the content business, etc. So for identifying those, I think the best way is if you're actually a part of one of those communities, because you understand them and you understand their needs, their wants, and more specifically where they're underserved, whether it's for consumable goods or, in the case of Barbend, for content.
Sure. So it sounds like the kind of immersion theory of kind of be your best customer and see where they hang out, and then kind of the rest will flow from there. So how can being content and product focused help connect especially well with these niche audiences, and how do you go about planning for content as you plan to connect?
Yeah, I think kind of going back to what I said about being a part of that community is the easiest way to identify that community. You really want to understand the motivations, right? It can be difficult to understand a community's motivations if you're not part of it and if you're not kind of privy to all the little variables that go into that. When planning content for those niche communities, it can be very helpful to actually talk to real people, try and understand their content consumption patterns, because for niche communities, for passionate niche communities, people will kind of be Frankensteining together their content habits. If they don't have that one outlet that really is targeted toward that niche, they'll be trying to find mainstream coverage when it occurs for their niche. In our case, strength sports, it's not all the time. They might be trying to piece together information from forums, social media. Instagram can be great. It's not the best way to get your news, but in the world of strength sports, that's kind of what people were doing before we came along to get event results, just scrolling through Instagram comments. So try and find these behavior patterns that look really broken or really cobbled together. They're actually really interesting ways to figure out how habits form for these niches. And that's, I think, the best way to identify what kind of content you need to be producing. Because anything that reduces friction and makes someone's life easier, right? If they're going to 5 different sources, Instagram comments, Facebook comments, a forum, maybe some mainstream coverage, and YouTube, to get this one piece of information and like to cobble it together from all these different sources, if you can provide them that information in a really, really easy to grok and really easy to read or consume way, they're going to really like you, right? And so identifying all of those little parts and all those little pieces of half information or incomplete information is really cool, because that can help you paint a fuller content picture at launch or with whatever content you're working to provide them.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I love the idea of tapping into people's habits, especially. We try to publish this show on Thursday mornings because that's when we think marketers might have a lull in the work week long enough to watch a 5 to 10 minute educational marketing video, at work maybe, So great thoughts there. And then lastly, as we get into 2020 and we're trying to get marketers to move beyond or in line with and even beyond influencers to connect with audiences, what's the best way to just find and connect with that audience as you're and maybe tactically you mentioned kind of being a part of that community, but let's say you want to be a part of that community. What are the actual steps to kind of become a part of that niche audience?
Well, for our audience specifically, so we cover strength sports and strength athletics. A big thing for us in 2020 that we're focusing on more than ever is being present at events. And I know that sounds weird in the digital age, and I know as a marketer that might raise the hair on the back of your neck because you're like, well, that's not necessarily scalable. You can't be in 5 places at once. It's true. But I think having a physical presence at events is a really good way to connect, and it gives your brand visibility, whether it's setting up a booth at the event, whether it's being a co-sponsor of the event, giving a speech on the stage, or giving a presentation to event attendees. Oftentimes in the fitness industry, you'll have like a powerlifting competition, but next door in the same venue, you'll also have like presentations or workshops or things like that kind of going on simultaneously. So being more of a part of that is a really good way for influencers to get their name out there, but also for brands to appear like influencers, or for brands to look like they have a physical presence. A lot of times people are really surprised and pleasantly surprised when we show up at a physical event and a gathering of strength athletes and fans of strength sports, and there are real people behind the brand. The individual influencer always has the advantage of, well, you see their face. It's one person. For Barbend, we have numerous writers, editors, contributors, personalities that are all kind of under this banner. So it can be a little difficult to associate a face with the brand. If you show up, shake someone's hand, talk to them, give them insight into your experiences, present to a group, suddenly your brand has a lot more cachet, it's a lot more personable, and something people are going to respect more and engage with more later on.
That's such great information. Really appreciate all the information about how to connect with niche audiences today. David Tao, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
All right, it's time to map out your market, create content just for those people, and ditch everyone else. You have my permission to be a niche about it. Hey, it's Josh from Brandish Insights. Thank you for watching Marketing is Broken. If you like this week's episode, please click below to subscribe or check out other episodes. And if your company could use more insights around your branding efforts, check out brandishinsights.com.